Hey guys, how's it going? I was a lazy boy in 2024 and didn't post anything, but it's a new year and I've got some great news to share. I finally hit my first 100,000 British pounds in my dividend portfolio. Right now, it sits at almost 104,000 pounds, roughly 130,000 US dollars, and pays me roughly 1,950 pounds annually for a yield of 1.88%. The dividend should grow by 3.5% this year, which is not that much, but I do have some stocks which don't pay a dividend yet. Okay, now let's have a quick look at how my portfolio has grown so far. I moved my assets from my Moneybox ISA to Interactive Brokers at the end of May last year, so I can track them more easily and have better control. And you can see that here. I was fully invested towards the end of July, that's why you see this massive increase over here. In hindsight, if I could do it again, I would have just slapped a lump sum into the World Index Fund instead of splitting it into small chunks, but hey, that's a lesson learned. Since June, I've gained about 11,700 pounds, roughly a 12.4% return. In fact, I've beaten the FTSE Global Index by almost a percent. My portfolio is in blue and the FTSE is in orange. If we look at how my portfolio has done, it's been ahead of the index for most of the time, so that's reassurance that my strategy is working well. Obviously, 6-7 months is not that long in the investing world, but I'll be very happy if I can keep this up over the next few years. My biggest gain in that period, 3.7 thousand pounds, came from IWDG, which is basically a world index fund in pounds, which is hedged against the dollar, so it reduces the currency fluctuation risk for me. This year, the pound really crashed, so having this fund has been super helpful. Then I've got Google with a gain of 2,000 pounds, Amazon with 1,800 pounds, Visa with 1,100 pounds. PayPal is actually a very good one because my position is much smaller than the rest. That 676 pounds is almost a 50% gain on my investment. I also had some duds, the biggest one being Enphase Energy with 1,000 pounds. My timing on that stock was absolutely horrible. But you know, we make mistakes, we learn from them. To be honest, I'm still optimistic about the company, but it will take a few years before it recovers. Anyway, if we take a look at my gains percentage-wise, PayPal is the best performing stock with 45.7% capital gains so far, followed by Amazon with 35%, Ameriprise with 33%, Visa with 26%, and so on. Obviously, these are some really good numbers for investments of about 6 months. I don't expect this to continue. In fact, I won't be surprised if we see some corrections soon, but I'm obviously very happy with how this is turning out. Really, my plan with this portfolio is to set it and forget. I don't want to actively trade or anything like that. I want to minimize the amount of actions I do, buying or selling, and just let my portfolio do its thing. Now, what I want is to look at it in 5-10 years and know that it's generating a steady dividend income. That's why my allocation is sort of 50-60% in world index funds, and the rest is focused on dividend growth stocks, which can become dividend powerhouses over the next decade. Stocks like Google, Visa, MasterCard, American Express. I don't really care that they have a dividend yield of under 1% right now, because these companies are dominating the market, and they will keep raising the dividend as they mature. In 10 years time, it's gonna pay off. These are gonna be the Coca-Colas of our generation. They're gonna be paying for my holidays when I retire. Now, what about the dividends? By the way, I'm using Snowball Analytics to track my dividends. They've got a really cool interface and a lot of data, and I'm a really big fan. You can check it out along with my portfolio in the link in the comments or the description below. So, how much did I get in dividends during 2024? The answer is 1,261 pounds and some change, roughly 105 pounds every month. Not bad, right? If we look at what's happening this year, I should get paid around 1,954 pounds, 55% more than last year. Bear in mind, the figure will fluctuate up and down because half of my dividend comes in US dollars, so there's gonna be some currency fluctuations there. 55% is a pretty solid increase though, which I'm really happy with. I just hope I can keep it up for another few years. My yield on cost is currently 2.07%, which is a bit low, but it's gonna grow over time. The important thing is to be patient. Now, where am I getting most of my dividends from? That's the really important thing here. Is this dividend yield safe? Can I rely on it increasing over time? My biggest payer is the World Index ETF that I mentioned earlier, IWDG. That's paying 22% of my dividends. My second biggest payer, however, is Legal & General, and that's a UK stock. Now, the company is pretty solid and they have a massive yield of 9%, but it's not ideal to have 21% of your dividends coming from a single stock. If they decide to cut the dividend or stop it altogether, my dividends are going to suffer. So I really want to reduce my reliance on Lego in general, despite the fact that I think it's a great stock. Pairs number 3 and 4 are also diversified ETFs, each of which is paying around 10% of my dividends, one focusing on Europe, the other one on emerging markets. So again, I don't feel concerned about them whatsoever. From then on, I've got a REIT, Realty Income, paying me £140, about 7.2% of my dividends, and so on. Again, if you're interested in checking out my portfolio in your own time and going through the details, maybe looking for some inspiration, you can find the link in the description in the comments below. So I hope you have a good idea of what my portfolio is like right now, what I'm focusing on. Like I said, dividend growth is the name of the game. I don't really need the dividend right now, so my focus is more on dividend growth. But over time, yield will become more important to me. We're talking way down the line here though, so I'm not in any rush. So, what do you think? What's your dividend portfolio like? It is gonna be awesome if you share your situation in the comments below so we can bounce off some ideas. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video.